Gianna, thanks. Now to Amherst, where the school committee voted to suspend the COVID-19 vaccine mandate for staff. Western Mass News reporter Olivia Hickey joins us live in studio with more. Olivia.
Chris, school officials tell Western Mass News while they acknowledge the presence of the coronavirus, the pandemic is in a different place. I also checked in with other local districts for updates on their COVID-19 policies and procedures. At the end of April, the Amherst-Pelham Regional School Committee voted quickly and unanimously to suspend the COVID-19 vaccine mandate for school staff. The mandate was first put in place in 2021. The school district's nurse manager and the town's public health director saying, quote, COVID vaccine requirements for staff were instituted during a pandemic phase where the goal was to interrupt transmission on a popular level. We are now past this point.
They still strongly recommend that all staff in our buildings maintain up to date on our vaccination status for COVID-19. But given where we are in the pandemic, they feel like the time is right to shift that dynamic to recommendation.
Western Mass News spoke with District Superintendent Dr. Michael Morris. He says the policy scale back was based on a few back-end recommendations consistent with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the State Department of Public Health. The Department of Elementary and Secondary Education has left COVID protocols up to individual districts to decide, but tells Western Mass News they will continue to offer clinics for staff that choose to continue receiving vaccinations.
I know our many staff members have continued to maintain an updated vaccination status, and we try to facilitate that to be for those who are interested.
With the Bay State and the country's COVID-19 emergency ending on the 11th, we checked in with other school districts to see what they are doing. In Northampton, the interim superintendent tells Western Mass News, we are following DESE guidelines and any policies will be reviewed by our school committee. In Springfield, district spokesperson Azel Kavan says while vaccinations weren't a requirement for students or employees, the district routinely encouraged vaccination and even hosted dozens of vaccination clinics throughout the district. On the collegiate level, UMass Amherst will no longer require faculty, staff, and students to receive a COVID-19 vaccination starting July 1st. Morris notes the vaccine mandate in the town of Amherst is still in place for students over the age of 16, but health officials are expected to reevaluate that soon. Reporting live in studio, Olivia Hickey for Western Mass News.